Welcome to Supersize Your Business No Nonsense November tip and tool of the day, number 14. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And today we are talking about embracing minimalism. So I wore my minimalist shirt, my minimalist hairdo, and minimalist makeup. But you may have noticed I am not particularly or naturally a minimalist. I am obviously a person who likes stuff and clutter and things around me because of the way they make me feel. But a few years back, following my divorce, I was downsizing, had a big house, didn't need a big house anymore. My kids had moved out, no more pets, no more kids, didn't need a giant house to take care of on my own. So I decided, and necessity of other life situations made it time for me to move. But part of that moving meant I had to set a goal to declutter, minimalize, and reduce a whole lot of stuff that I had accumulated throughout my life. I'd been in that house 25 years, 20 plus years for sure, and needed to let a whole lot of things go. Not only my own stuff, but other people's stuff, family members and things that were there and stored there, etc. So that was my goal. Reduce my stuff 90%. Was a huge project, not gonna lie, not a small project, just like the projects we undergo in our businesses as we're growing and building and supersizing our business. I put KISS in the title for a reason. The older I get, the more experience I get, the more I realize that simplification, which is a minimalist idea, right? Keeping things simple, making them simple, breaking them down to the common denominator so that we can actually focus and concentrate on what's important. When we have a lot of stuff in our life and in our businesses, we have a lot of complicated systems and processes and procedures that people may only partially understand. Chances are we're not going to get the results we want because people are confused. And a confused mind says no, whether it's in a sales process, whether it's in your job, whether it's when you're asked to take on more responsibility. We'll just say no because we can't handle more stuff, more work, more energy. And if you've ever worked in corporate America, you know what I'm talking about. Whenever there was downsizing in any company I had ever worked for, I inherited whole new functions of that business to be in charge of and to lead. And that's a tough spot to be in because you want to keep your job, right? You want to keep your gainfully employed income, but you also want to keep your sanity in some instances so you don't burn out and so you can contribute to the organization or your businesses in the way that you so choose. It's part of why I always have my own businesses on the side while I was working in corporate America, because it gave me options and freedom to say no to things that I knew weren't right for me. So this whole minimalist philosophy, our tool today is the Minimalist Challenge Workbook. There's a workbook about challenging yourself every single day to minimize something in your life, meaning declutter. There's a daily declutter activity. There's journaling. There's things like that. Some of the many tools that we've talked about over the last several years that help everyone, and they especially help us as founders and owners and board members of the organizations that we are participating in or own. So I shared the story of my 400 item to-do list and how I let that go because it was cluttering my mind, right? Even though it was just a running list, so it was ideas that I wouldn't forget, every once in a while it would pop into my head and bog me down a little bit. So I turned that into a bucket list for my businesses and what I wanted to do someday, and made it a more long-term thing. So when I'm looking for a new project or I've got energy and time freed up to do something, I'll go to that list and I'll look at it. But it's not in my mind as if, I got to get all these things done. Because when it was in my mind that I got to get all these things done, it could be overwhelming and stressful. And I would wake up in the middle of the night saying, oh my God, I need to add this to my 400 plus item to-do list. And I would knock some things off and then the list would just grow and grow and grow. So I needed to reframe how I was dealing with that. We need to reframe certain things in our business and certain activities, knowing full well that we don't need to do that. One of my biggest frustrations in corporate America was we would collect all this information, we'd write all these reports, we'd do these what if scenarios, and nothing ever happened to any of them. We didn't even save them for posterity so that 2 years down the road, when our boss would ask us to do another what if that was one we'd already done, we could have gone to our file and pulled it out and just turned it in again. But instead, we never saved any of that. We never documented any of that. So you're doing the same type activities that were non-value added over and over and over again. And so how does this apply to our business? The whole keep it simple and minimalist idea. Number one, with respect to our strategies. Simple strategies often work for our businesses way better than complicated ones. Simplifying our processes, reviewing our processes and saying, are these steps all actually necessary, or are there some that are causing bottlenecks and aren't really a necessary part of the process? That's why we do an annual review of all of our business processes, all of our systems, all of our procedures. At least once a year, we review those and ask ourselves a series of questions about them to verify that they are what we still want to be doing. Our systems, our key performance indicators, our tracking, our documentation, everything. We look at everything and say, does this make sense? Do we need to have a 1,000-page quality manual? No, right? Some of it can be sent out to the departments and they can manage and handle it themselves. And then reporting. Are we reporting on things that are really important? Are we capturing the lessons learned and what's important so that we can take those lessons forward with us as people and the organization grows and changes? And the other thing that I like to do, and that we've gotten a lot of value out of in the organizations I work with, is a post-mortem on things that don't go well. People think, oh, that's terrible, but it's not. It's looking at, okay, this was our plan. This is what actually happened. This is the result we got. It wasn't the optimal result we wanted. Well, what happened? What were all the things that contributed to that? We do the same thing when we have a success and are celebrating. We actually throw up a wall, a big piece of paper on the wall, and everybody writes down what they're grateful for and what well about the project. It's just two little simple things that we added to our daily life that, instead of making things more complicated, actually capture, document, and make things simpler, but carry forward the things that we want to carry forward as we're building and growing and supersizing our business. So love to know your philosophy and your thoughts on minimalist or keeping it simple in your business. I know that my ideas on it change. They don't change all the time, but I learn as I get older and have more business experience. Simple, there's a whole lot of value to simple and understandable and communicating, etc., that comes from keeping things simple and minimalistic. All right, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow with another no-nonsense November tip and tool. Have a great day.